Imagine if I told you that the most powerful medicine for your lungs isn't locked away in a pharmaceutical lab, but is streaming through your window right now. What if the key to breathing easier was as simple as stepping outside? Today, we're about to challenge everything you thought you knew about lung health, and the solution might just leave you breathless, in a good way. Now, let's dive into our exploration of the best medicine for lung conditions like sleep apnea, asthma, emphysema, and bronchitis. You might be expecting me to talk about some groundbreaking pharmaceutical drug or a newly discovered herb, but what if I told you that the best medicine for your lungs is actually free and available to everyone? Intrigued? Well, let's dive right in. Let's start by briefly addressing some of the most common lung conditions that affect millions of people worldwide. Sleep apnea is a potentially serious disorder where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Asthma is a condition in which a person's airways narrow and swell and may produce extra mucus, making breathing difficult. Emphysema causes shortness of breath due to damage to the air sacs in the lungs. And chronic bronchitis is a long-term inflammation of the bronchi, the airways that carry air to and from the lungs. These last two conditions, along with emphysema, fall under the umbrella term COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Now, what do all these conditions have in common? Well, recent scientific studies have uncovered an interesting correlation. Researchers found that individuals suffering from these lung conditions often share something in common: lower levels of vitamin D in their blood compared to the general population. This discovery led to a series of studies where scientists administered vitamin D supplements to patients with these lung conditions. The aim was to see if increasing vitamin D levels could improve their lung health. And what were the results? Well, it's a bit mixed. Some studies showed positive outcomes. Patients who received vitamin D supplements experienced improvements in lung function and a reduction in symptoms. However, other studies showed no significant benefits from vitamin D supplementation. Now, you might be wondering, why the discrepancy? If vitamin D is so important, why didn't all the studies show positive results? Well, there are a few potential explanations. It's possible that studies haven't yet identified the optimal dose of vitamin D for treating lung conditions. Different people might require different amounts. Also, not everyone responds to vitamin D supplementation in the same way. Some people might not absorb or utilize the vitamin as efficiently as others. But here's where things get really interesting. What if it wasn't just about the vitamin D itself, but about how we get it? You see, while vitamin D supplements can be beneficial, they're not the whole story. The real star of the show, the best medicine for our lungs, is actually the thing responsible for our body's natural production of vitamin D. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's the sun. Sunlight is the best medicine for our lungs, and here's why. When our skin is exposed to sunlight, specifically UVB rays, it triggers the production of vitamin D in our bodies. This process is much more efficient and natural than taking supplements. Plus, sunlight exposure has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects on the body, which can be particularly beneficial for lung conditions that involve inflammation. Exposure to sunlight, especially in the morning, helps regulate our body's production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. This can be particularly beneficial for those suffering from sleep apnea. Sunlight exposure also increases the brain's release of serotonin, which is associated with boosting mood and helping a person feel calm and focused. This can indirectly benefit lung health by reducing stress and anxiety, which can exacerbate breathing problems. Regular exposure to natural light helps regulate our circadian rhythm, which can improve overall health, including lung function. For those with sleep apnea, this is crucial as it can improve sleep quality and reduce the frequency of apnea episodes. Moreover, vitamin D produced from sunlight exposure has been associated with improved muscle function, which could potentially help with the throat muscle tone that plays a role in sleep apnea. For asthma patients, studies have shown a correlation between vitamin D deficiency and increased asthma severity. Sunlight exposure can help naturally increase vitamin D levels. Additionally, the anti-inflammatory effects of sunlight could help reduce airway inflammation, a key feature of asthma. As for emphysema and chronic bronchitis, the anti-inflammatory effects of sunlight exposure could be particularly beneficial. Inflammation plays a significant role in the progression of these diseases, and anything that can help reduce this inflammation could potentially slow disease progression and improve symptoms. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A study conducted on asthma patients showed that those who were exposed to sunlight for less than 15 minutes experienced an improvement in their asthma symptoms. However, those who were exposed for more than 15 minutes actually experienced a worsening of symptoms. This brings us to a crucial point. While sunlight is indeed the best medicine for our lungs, it needs to be used carefully and in moderation. Like any powerful medicine, dosage matters. So, how much sun exposure is right for you? Well, that's something you should discuss with your doctor. The ideal amount of sun exposure can vary greatly depending on several factors. Older individuals generally need more sun exposure to produce the same amount of vitamin D as younger people. People with darker skin need more sun exposure to produce vitamin D than those with lighter skin. Those living in areas further from the equator may need more sun exposure, especially during winter months. The sun's UVB rays are strongest between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. In many parts of the world, it's harder to get adequate sun exposure during winter months. Certain health conditions and medications can affect how your body produces or uses vitamin D from sunlight. It's also important to note that while sunlight is beneficial, overexposure can lead to skin damage and increase the risk of skin cancer. That's why it's crucial to find the right balance. Here are some general guidelines for safe sun exposure. Start slow. If you're not used to sun exposure, start with just a few minutes a day and gradually increase. Avoid peak hours. If possible, get your sun exposure earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon when the sun's rays are less intense. Don't burn. If your skin starts to turn pink, it's time to cover up or go inside. Protect sensitive areas. Use sunscreen on your face, neck, and hands, which tend to get a lot of sun exposure over time. Be consistent. Regular, moderate sun exposure is better than occasional long periods in the sun. Now, you might be wondering, what if I live in an area where it's difficult to get regular sun exposure? Or what if my doctor advised against sun exposure due to other health conditions? In these cases, there are alternatives. Vitamin D supplements, while not as effective as natural sunlight, can help boost your levels. Always consult your doctor about the right dosage for you. Include vitamin D-rich foods in your diet, such as fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, egg yolks, and fortified foods. In some cases, doctors might recommend light therapy boxes that mimic natural outdoor light. It's important to remember that while sunlight is a powerful tool for lung health, it's not a standalone solution. It should be part of a comprehensive approach to lung health that includes a healthy diet, regular exercise, avoiding irritants like smoking and air pollution, staying hydrated, practicing good sleep hygiene, managing stress, and getting regular checkups with your doctor. Remember, while sunlight exposure can be a powerful tool for improving lung health, it's not a substitute for prescribed medications. Always consult your healthcare professional before making any changes to your treatment plan. Some medications can make your skin more sensitive to sunlight, so check with your doctor or pharmacist about possible sun sensitivity and how to safely get sun exposure if you're on medications. Tanning beds are not a safe alternative to natural sunlight. They primarily emit UVA rays, which don't stimulate vitamin D production and significantly increase the risk of skin cancer. In areas with limited sunlight, especially during winter months, it's important to make the most of available sunlight. You may need to supplement with vitamin D under medical guidance. Light therapy boxes can also be helpful. Children can also benefit from sunlight exposure for lung health, but children's skin is more sensitive, so extra caution is needed. Always consult a pediatrician about safe sun exposure for children. Morning sunlight is often recommended as it's less intense and helps regulate circadian rhythms. However, the best time can vary depending on your location and time of year. In conclusion, the best medicine for our lungs isn't something you can buy at a pharmacy. It's the sun, a free, natural resource available to all of us. By harnessing the power of sunlight responsibly, we can support our lung health and overall well-being. However, it's crucial to remember that everyone's health needs are unique. What works for one person may not work for another. Always consult your healthcare professional before making significant changes to your health routine, especially if you have a diagnosed lung condition. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of lung health and the power of sunlight. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a like and share it with anyone you think might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more health insights and tips. Here's to breathing easier and living healthier. Until next time, take care. And don't forget to get a little sunshine, safely of course.